Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 101 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. Yes, we have crossed the 100 mark. Okay, so in the previous episode we were focusing on designing a carbonite miner for Duna based off our successful Minmus design. And today we will be actually building it and doing the launch. And a few other orbital fixes and I guess some trajectories needed adjusting in order for our flotilla that we have launched like a couple of episodes ago to be arriving at Duna. So let's load the carbonite miner real quickly as the game will allow it. Okay, and we have Carbonite Miner Mark II, and let's build it. So, perfect. It's added to the build queue, and now we have 3 days until Kerbin to Duna window, and we have 9 days until this is built. So this is not gonna cut it clearly. So now let's look for more suitable launch transfer window to Duna, because I still want to get this guy over to Duna as soon as possible. So even if it's a little bit less efficient, but let's see. I mean, ultimately I don't care, it will be ending up on Duna anyway, but it needs to be somewhere around it needs to be somewhere around now. We don't want to wait another cycle of how many years or a year for us to get in a favorable position. So let's get it built, and our Kerbin to Duna window should be within 54 minutes. So yeah, roughly said we will be a little bit late to the party, but when the vessel rolls out, and this is one of the things that happens when you're playing with Kerbal construction time, clearly. But I like the idea of it because you cannot build your ships in basically 0 time, so it just doesn't make sense in my head. But anyway, okay, searching for another Kerbin to Duna transfer window, and it's pretty far out. Do we have something closer? Come on, give me something. Okay, here. And I don't want the travel days to be that high, so I want to basically travel days also and the departure date as soon as possible. So I'm trying to find some good compromise. So tomorrow we actually launch for Duna. And let's launch the Duna miner then real quick into the orbit. Obviously this is in, I don't know how many, I think 6 times acceleration roughly. Obviously due to frame rate and part count issues, booster separation. We needed a couple of separatrons to make sure that things are going smoothly. Performing regular orbital insertion, regular gravity turn. I mean, it's pretty similar as the simulation that we did, so that's why it's a bit accelerated. It's really, and this is the first craft that I'm using. Also the fairings, which are the procedural fairings. So that's a little bit new gameplay mechanic to me, but we're starting to use more and more of the mods that I initially installed, which I found pretty cool. Okay, apoapsis is already at 77 now, burning to get our periapsis as high as possible. Pointing to the horizon, came up to the in space, detach, and then once we get on the apoapsis we will be performing a circularization burn. Now when it comes to disposable stages, I had something else in mind. You probably saw a glimpse during the last episode rather than me performing re-entry and everything on this stage, I just decided I'm gonna perform a self-destruct sequence on it, because I'm just tired of cleaning up orbital debris, and given how many launches we have, it's quite a boatload of debris, and I really wanted to use the delta V for circularizing, so yeah. And for that I'm using, I believe the mod is called TAC Self-Destruct. So yeah, let us just quickly perform. Okay, the circularization is done. Time to decouple from the stage, turning on the warning lights, and let's just quickly see. Let's see if we can create the maneuver node to be getting to Duna. I mean, it says 1 day transfer, but the sooner we do it, basically the better. So I just want to see if I can adjust it at roughly the correct angle and make sure that we have our transfer to Duna. So yeah, I'm just reading the parameters, and hopefully, let's see, prograde, nominal, and then a little bit fiddling forward and back should give us somewhere in the ballpark when it comes to, let's see, when it comes to getting to Duna. And okay, we're supposed to have an encounter somewhere. Oh, maybe here? Closest approach, yeah, sure, why not? Let's try and get it. I mean, we will be having to also slow down then, but we have enough delta V, and I'm hoping this shouldn't be too much of an issue, so yeah. We have 3.9 delta V, and I'll try and see if I can maybe either aero brake, or I'll just make some sort of insertion to orbit. So okay, maybe I'll just pass in front of Ike and shed some of the delta V here using Ike's sphere of influence. That's something that I've been thinking about lately. Okay, anyway, we have our burn in 15 minutes, so yeah, let us just angle ourselves in the correct direction, and we have still 978 meters per second of delta V in this craft as well, and the total burn will be 2.6 thousand, so roughly both of our transfers, or the ascending stage and the transfer stage, which leaves us with healthy 3.9 thousand delta V for just Duna operations, which I think is more than enough, I mean, to go anywhere in the Kerbal system. So that being said, we are 2 minutes away from the burn, and the burn will take 5 minutes. I think it will even take longer because, well, not of our stages have completely been prepared. So, well, let's just point ourselves and start burning. Okay. First stage done. Now I'm igniting the main transfer stage after we have spent all the fuel in the ascending stage, so you'll have to pardon my commenting a little bit. This is the first time I've been commenting this series since I left from Sweden, so this is just, I had one backup episode in case we don't have enough time, so this is kind of, and this will be the last episode that you will see prior to the new lineup in terms of new episodes, which I will record once I get back home. So yeah. Okay, burning. we can see that roughly our burn will coincide with the burn that we have here for the estimated burn. So obviously this is time accelerated 3 times, so burning, just making sure that we burn as quickly as we can to get to Duna, or get an interception with Duna, rendezvous basically. 600 meters per second to go. I really like the ensemble of 4 smaller nukes working together with one big nuke to basically provide the transfer. And once this stage burns up, we will be ditching the big nuke and just continue on the 4 small ones, which is the final mining ship that we will be ultimately using. So let's see how we are doing in terms of getting a Duna rendezvous, and that will take a little bit of extra time. So let's just see. Oh, and apparently I'm messing up my maneuver node. So okay, so another burn will be needed, and that will be a total of 451 meters per second, because I'm really bad when it comes to this. Okay, screenshot. Now, that being said, let us just see if we can take care of the ascent vehicles. Hold on, let's just have a beautiful view on leaving the Kerbin's sphere of influence and taking off into the hopeful interplanetary space. Wow, this is a beautiful eclipse. Okay, are we close? And yes, we are close to the change of the sphere of influence. And also, as you can see, pretty soon we will have our other craft already somewhere departing for Duna. So anyway, sorry, needed to refresh my memory a little bit. Anyway, let's just quickly change the sphere of influence, and we have the jewel recycling station. And okay, so this is our ascent stage. For some reason it's still burning, I don't get why, but it didn't have any liquid fuel or oxidizer, but it's still burning. So we triggered a self-destruct sequence, and I do apologize for the beep 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 beep. I wonder what is beeping now. Well, what can you do? Anyway, I have decided to terminate a couple of vessels just to be able to maintain a long list of the vessels that are already there. So nothing really major, just one probe I think I decided to terminate because we were already getting into the 50s number of craft that are present throughout the solar system, and that usually crashes my game like every 10 minutes. So yeah. By the way guys, I'm not gonna be upgrading this to 1.1 because it would be just like too tedious to actually do that. I will most likely start a new series 1.1 and probably with a similar but slightly different set of mods, and maybe I don't know if I'll run it a career or something. I'm willing to listen to your suggestions if you want to give them, so please post them in the comments. I'll really be interested to see what you come up with. Anyway, performing the correction burn, and it will take 1 minute 45 seconds, so not too long of a burn, which is good given how much I've displaced or apoapses and periapses when it comes to Duna rendezvous. So okay, burning, and I am hoping this will secure us finally the rendezvous that we want. And in that case, we should be starting to focus on some of our other ships. Okay, come on, slowly. And here we go. We have a Duna encounter. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we can. A little bit more, and perfect. I don't care to be 100 precise. All I care about is that it's roughly there in the ballpark. So I'm using RCS to fiddle a little bit, see if we can get a better encounter. But I'm pretty happy overall where it already is, so maybe a few minor adjustments in terms of arrival, so it arrives in the same orbit as everybody else. Yeah, okay. I think that should be good enough. Perfect! That means this guy is done. Okay. Now, we come back to the refueling station, and we are 4 days away from our maneuver node, which we need to execute a planned maneuver, just a small delta V change to make sure that we get a nicer intercept with Duna. Very tiny burn, but still it will give us a much nicer rendezvous. Okay, let's just move the flight computer over here, and we already have time delay of 36 seconds, so clearly I cannot use this to control the ship manually. Let's toggle the SAS real quick, and I think we are pretty much good to go. So that takes care of business for this one, and I believe Kerbin to Sarnas. We have already ship en route there, if I'm not mistaken, so let's go back to the carbonite scanner. Okay. Now we have this guy who needs to do what? Perform a slight maneuver node. So slight also basically line up with for arrival to Duna, and somewhere along these lines, I would guess. 3.6 meters per second, very small burn, but still I want to have it executed correctly, and it will happen in 11 days, so hopefully that will take care of our business when it comes to Duna refueling. We have now the miner, we have the refinery, we have the fuel depot that will be putting station, and I'm hoping that that's all, and we have obviously the scanner that will be going there as well. Cool. So we have 46 days until the next Duna rendezvous, and it will be the fuel tank ship that will be arriving there. So yeah, IP fuel tank, and it's already close to Duna, so 46 days away, which means we can more or less now accelerate time and perform the orbital insertion. We already have a big enough flotilla. I really don't want to do any missions before we start putting our ships into the orbit around Duna. We have plenty of them, so we should really start focusing on that. And it's good that our fuel depot, well, not the fuel depot, but a fuel tank at least arrives early enough, because that one will be bunching up together with the fuel station, and the idea is that those two fuel tanks that you see, guys, should be left or connected to the station, so probably one on each side or something. Okay, oops, and we have come with a wrong from the wrong side of the planet, which means we need to perform a slight radial burn just to make sure that we come and swing around a different side of Duna, that we are in the orbit as everything else. So Duna orbital 1, now we're correctly aligned, and it's only 51 meters per second burn, so it's not really a big burn, and we have plenty, so yeah, I'm thinking this should be more than enough. What is concerning is that one of our batteries died, but we still have RTGs and everything else. We don't have the solar panels, clearly by my own omission, but since we have RTGs, I don't need to care about it anyway. This is a small ship with a tug, basically, so, and soon enough this whole transfer stage will be dumped, so we don't need to care about it. And in the background you can see Duna already and Ike. So let's just time accelerate and hopefully make a short burn so that we can actually correction in 1 minute, and bam, here we go, perfect. And then we need to just think about well, basically orbital insertion, I guess. So let's see how much that will take. I won't be aerobraking here, so let's see. Periapsis 117, and we need a total of 622 delta V, which we more than have to execute the maneuver. So yeah. I am slightly concerned by the battery level. Oh, but yeah, this is since we're using the reaction wheels to line up. Okay, fair enough. And those reaction wheels, the only place where you got them is actually at the tug. So yeah, this turns like a truck. Okay, we can see Duna in the background, and let us time accelerate until we actually get to Duna. I really love Duna. It's my favorite planet. I mean, Lady is fun, but it's hard to actually find a decent chunk of land to land at, so, which is something that our probes have clearly experienced already. Okay, coming up, and we have our maneuver node in 1 minute 47 seconds. We have our planned burn. Okay, and I'm really hoping that this should secure that we have a decent orbit around Duna. And right now I don't care which these orbits are, as long as they don't intersect with anybody else. But when the interplanetary ship comes, since it's a command center, I will be then controlling all these probes manually. So that was the idea, using flight computer just to get them in. And then when we get the command center in, then we will be, docking all of these components, because then I will have no time delay, because clearly we will have an opportunity to basically control everything from vicinity. So our time delay should no longer be like and a half a second or something at most. Okay. We have secured an orbit and just now burning the apoapsis down. Okay, 117 by 800. I really don't care how big it is because we will be fixing it later anyway. Until next episode, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.